Good morning. On behalf of UTHealth Houston President Dr. Giuseppe Colasurdo, I am pleased to welcome you to our second annual Rise and Shine Veteran event. My name is Dina Moylan, and I lead the Diversity and Equal Opportunity team here at UTHealth Houston. While Veterans Day celebrations look a lot different this year than they have in the past, we have an exciting event planned for you today. We're thrilled to be able to honor our veterans, our active duty service members, members of the National Guard, and reservists in our university community. Thank you for being with us here today. At this time, I'd like to welcome to the stage our Master of Ceremonies, Andrew Casas, Senior Vice President of UTHealth Houston and Chief Operating Officer of UT Physicians. Andrew.
Good morning. Thank you, Dina. As Dina mentioned, Veterans Day celebrations celebrate the most things in our world look a lot different today than they did in the past. Like many other changes over the past 18 months, our current state of affairs and the protective measures implemented across the institution to stop the spread of COVID have forced us to think creatively to ensure that we stay safe while honoring our nation's heroes. Preparing for today's celebration has given me the opportunity to meet and interact with some outstanding people from across the organization. One of those people is Peggy Cook, Senior Executive Assistant in Human Resources and former Yeoman Third Class. Peggy, please come up to the podium and welcome.
Good morning and thank you, Andrew. I'm pleased to be here representing our veterans. I was delighted to be able to serve in the United States Coast Guard back in the 70s, so you can't even imagine how old I am or how young. But I'm thrilled to be here to honor our veterans. And at this time, I would like to introduce to you the Skeletones who will be leading our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was beautiful. Now I would like to ask our audience to join us in 2 minutes of silence to honor our veterans.
Wow, that was beautiful, Melissa. Melissa McDonald, she's actually the daughter of a veteran. Thank you very much for that beautiful, beautiful tone. This year, as we mark Veterans Day and honor our nation's veterans and their selfless courage, we would be remiss if we did not also take the time out to celebrate our current employees who are also veterans. These employees have already left a legacy, which continues here at UTHealth Houston and enables us to do the work we do every day. Let's hear from some of them in their own words.
I was in the military for approximately 7 years.
So I served for 14 and a half years, and I did 2 tours.
I served in the United States Navy for 21 years.
I served in the U.S. Air Force for 10 years.
I was in the Navy, and I was a personnel specialist 3rd class, so our PS3.
I was in the Navy for 6 years on active duty and 4 years in the reserve.
I joined the Army to serve my community.
I mean, I came from a family of military. My grandfather was in the Navy, my great-grandfather was in the Army, my dad was in the Air Force. Guess I was kind of destined.
So the values I learned in the Navy were the core values that are standard with the Navy of honor, courage, and commitment.
Commitment to your coworkers, commitment to the university. Honor in what you do means quality work, quality service to the university, and commitment to getting your job done.
So I feel like in healthcare, kind of like the military, the ending is not always happy. So I feel like my discipline really helps me in sad times when things are going on with patients, So I feel like that aspect that I brought from the military really helped me in my nursing career.
I think my rate translated completely to what I'm doing now, because what I learned was how to fix a computer. A computer is basically a body that has a brain and it has peripherals, which are like your hands and your arms and things like that. And with nursing, you're diagnosing. With IT, you're diagnosing. So the concepts are the same.
I was in the healthcare field before I went, while I was in, and it's just where I belong.
One thing I learned was discipline. I feel like in any military branch, they really push discipline.
Teamwork, you can't do anything without teamwork. Everything has to work together sufficiently or you're gonna fail.
Veterans Day is a time to give back to veterans and show your appreciation for their time in service, the commitments they're committed to, the service that they give, the sacrifices they give, sacrifices that their families give in order to keep this nation free.
We wouldn't have the rights we do if it wasn't for the soldiers now and in the past. We wouldn't be able to have freedom of speech, freedom of religion. We wouldn't be who we are today without the soldiers that fought for it.
A lot of veterans joined from my perspective of that was what we were supposed to do. We didn't join for the recognition. We didn't join for the thank you. We joined because we knew we needed to step up and do the right thing for our country. All the other veterans within the UT Health community, I would definitely thank them for their service. I think everyone's been through their own journey through the military, and you never know what somebody's going through, and so thanking them for their services, the least we can do for each other.
Wow. I'm always inspired by all of you I encounter across the university. And I'd like to bring up Dr. Asia McCleary-Gaddy. She's an assistant professor and the director of diversity and inclusion at UTHealth Houston, to introduce the keynote speaker.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Asia McCleary-Gaddy, and I'm the Director of Diversity and Inclusion for our UT Health Science Center, as well as Assistant Professor of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences for McGovern Medical School. I have the honor of introducing our guest speaker, Stephanie Ingram. Stephanie Ingram is from Jacksonville, Florida. She's a widow, mother of 3 children, and grandmother of 6 grandchildren. She enlisted into the Army on October 22, 2000 as a 91B combat medical specialist, and was stationed with the 10th Mountain Division of Fort Drum, New York. After she left active duty after 2 years of service, she re-enlisted and was sent to the National Training Center at Fort Irwin, California, where she was assigned to the 11th Armored Cavalry Regiment. In February of 2005, she received orders to deploy and meet up with her unit in Mosul, Iraq. During deployment, Stephanie was assigned first to the aid station on post and later selected as a team medic for the Protective Security Detail team. In December of 2005, her team and herself was hit by an improvised explosive device as they maneuvered a barricade to the forward operating base. However, everyone on the team regrouped and went back out for final mission of the day. Stephanie currently serves as a community liaison for the Trauma and Resilience Center here at UTHealth. She would like to tell other warriors facing similar challenges to seek love and care for the self first and not allow the negative perception of others to provoke thoughts of self-resentment. Your vulnerability is an asset because you are a unique member of a brother and sisterhood of honor. Without further ado, I welcome Stephanie Ingram.
Greetings, I am Stephanie Ingram, a veteran diagnosed with post-traumatic stress and comorbidities. And this is the focus of my conversation with you all on this Veterans Day, in hopes that you will become advocates and allies in breaking the stigmas of public and institutional stereotypes perpetuated by society, whether intentional or unintentionally. During my period of active duty in the Army, I served under an umbrella of shame with glimmers of hope after returning from Operation Iraqi Freedom at the age of 36. Please understand, I love being in the military and serving the United States. I joined at age 30. And as a mother of 3, in January of 2001, I arrived at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, Texas, where I became a soldier medic. During this time, my confidence flourished because I was a first-time go. In passing the National Registry as an EMTB, and not to mention, I was the only female. Fast forward, in January of 2005, I was deployed to Mosul, Iraq, from the National Training Center at Fort Irwin, California. During this deployment, I served as a medic in the aid station and as a medic on a personal security detail team. One day, when my team and I were returning to the FOB from a mission, we were hit with an IED, which is commonly known as a roadside bomb. Thank God we escaped only with minor injuries, unlike some of our comrades of previous missions. After returning home in 2006 from the deployment, I remember having a feeling of dread and not wanting to be back. I miss my children, but the feeling of fear would not escape me. When my kids and I were reunited, my son said to me, "Mom, you're different." My response to him was, "I know." And then 9 months after that, my husband died in a car crash. The feeling of fear was also met with shame, anger, anxiety, guilt, and depression. Resiliency became a mantra, not just for myself, but for those who returned home from combat. But I was just surviving until 2012, when I did a self-referral to behavioral health located at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, Texas. All I wanted to do was to stop the hurt of the trauma. I have glimpses of happy days, of personal achievement, as well as professional. But what I remembered was the love of my children, who assisted in creating my resiliency during the journey of mental health treatment. They were the real heroes because they sought to understand the why and the how of assisting us in coping with the diagnosis of PTSD. They were the real heroes because they sought to understand the why, the how of assisting us in coping with the diagnosis of PTSD. On my way to my journey of transition from military life to civilian life, it was bittersweet. I thought what I was doing was the right thing for my family, my military career, and myself. My decision to seek out support and treatment in an intensive outpatient and inpatient program didn't make me feel any better. I needed help with my daily living skills because I was barely able to function. My team decided to refer me to Haven Behavioral Hospital in Pueblo, Colorado, for trauma therapy, specifically for military personnel. During a 60-day treatment program, I started my journey back to me. Shortly after, in 2014, I medically retired. I moved on, but in 2016, I became homeless. During that period, I researched veteran resources and support programs to include Wounded Warrior Project, The Mission Continues, Soldiers Angels, and Grace After Fire. The support I received from these programs gave me my new purpose and mission in life, which is to assist my peers and community members with connecting to community resources and becoming a peer advocate. Finally, I felt what resiliency meant, and I could help others to reach that feeling which was free of fear and guilt, shame, and anger. Helping my comrades to learn to walk in purpose was freeing. So this is what brought me to UTHealth Houston. As a community health liaison, it is my mission to assist veterans and the community in obtaining proven evidence-based behavioral health treatment while advocating with and for patients and their families and breaking the stigma surrounding mental health. Many times our society looks at mental health as a burden and not as an illness. The stigmas accompanying these negative and discriminatory attitudes are obstacles to receiving appropriate care from community partners, such which are offered at the Department of Psychiatric and Behavioral Science and the Trauma Resiliency Center. During my journey of coping and recovering, I have learned that it is okay to be vulnerable and not ashamed. One of the messages I convey to my peers and community members when encouraging them to seek care and support in abolishing obstacles to mental health care is to thrive and not just survive. The programs at UTHealth Houston and how they help veterans are specialized treatment programs that aim to help veterans in moving forward in their journey. The UTHealth Houston Veteran Careers Program helped me to become a member of one of the best departments and teams. The Trauma Resiliency Center is led by Dr. Ronald Ocherno, who is a great mentor. The team cares for patients whom they provide treatment to while meeting them where they are. The specialized programs provided by the TRC are needed additions to our community resources because there are evidence-based treatment programs for veterans and their family members. There are many educational and career programs at UTHealth Houston for veterans, and they embody the military camaraderie with purpose. Being a veteran with a service-connected disability has been a burden in the past because once I exposed my truth of coping with PTSD and comorbidities, because in the past, I have been shoved into corners of stigma and discrimination filled with stereotypes. But for the most part, everyone at UTHealth and the Trauma Resiliency Center have treated me with inclusiveness and belonging. Disclosing my mental health diagnosis should not be a harm to my career nor others. To close, I want to leave you all with the why and the purpose of my mission. Veterans with mental health and long-term health conditions are more likely to experience the following: financial issues, job instability, substance abuse, loss of relationships, homelessness, and suicide. Therefore, my fellow veterans, please seek help from community resources. If you are unsure, contact a community partner in your area, as well as an employee assistance and wellness program. Or if you're a student, reach out to Veteran Services. They are available to assist with issues affecting mental health and emotional well-being, as well as financial needs associated with work-life stressors. So I plead with you all to please utilize resources that are available to you. Here at UTHealth Houston, veteran students and employees, please utilize your services. Thank you, and I hope you become an advocate and an ally in destroying the stigmas of mental health.
Thank you for sharing your story with us. That was remarkable. It is an honor and a privilege to have you here. Now, to bring our celebration to a close, we will hear from Colonel Stuart Harlan, better known to most of us as Dr. Harlan, Associate Professor and Assistant Vice President, Community Imaging and Outpatient Vascular Surgery. Dr. Harlan is a decorated medical veteran who served in the United States Air Force for more than 15 years. When asked to provide the closing remarks for this year's ceremony, his reaction was, "It would be my great honor." So, introduce to you Colonel Harlan and a personal friend. Thank you for all you do.
Andrew, thank you so much for that warm introduction. When you join the military, there are a certain set of values that are instilled upon you, and that happens from the day you step into the service, and it's teamwork, it's selfless service, it's mission accomplishment, and just an ongoing sense of non-individualism. It's interesting when you come to UT, those same set of values are the same. They are immediately ensconced inside UT, and which is probably why we don't see veterans as often as we think we might within UT. There are lots and lots of veterans at UT, and most are very quiet about their service. They don't tell you that they served. They don't wear their rank on their sleeves. And so in the annual observance of Veterans Day, I think it's critically important to remember all those who served. And it's not necessarily to have a big parade and a big float and a big celebration, but rather a quiet, respectful observation of those people who served and however and wherever they served. And certainly it's reasonable and appropriate to mourn those who didn't come back. But I think more importantly now, especially in all the trials and tribulations we've had over the last several years of pandemics and just global unrest we've had, it's more important to celebrate those who did return and to recognize those who returned may not have come back whole. Whether they had corporal or temporal injuries, they may never be the same. And for those people, we need to nurture them and, in fact, love them for their service and their commitment to the United States, for their providing the very blanket of freedom and safety we all live under today. So please, now, when you see a veteran, you'll not likely know, they will not likely have their rank pinned on their arm. But if you see one, thank them for their service graciously and humbly, and they will appreciate it far more than you will know. So to all out there at UT, please enjoy a very happy and safe Veterans Day. Thank you.